Alright, folks, ladies and gents, here we go. So we left off on slide 39 here, selective permeability. Just as a recap, we have blood cells that help to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide in or out of the cells. We had sweat gland cells that helped release salt solution through a membrane. We had liver cells help transport toxins through membrane for removal. We have transport emotion hormones, that's brain cells. So brain cells were involved in the emotions of the body and producing hormones that affect our emotions. So let's move on to slide 40. On slide 40 we have a new vocabulary word. It's called homeostasis. Boom. And homeostasis, well, homeo means the same. Just like when you hear, HOM tends to mean the same. So if you hear homosexual, it means someone prefers the same gender. Homeo, similar word, means the same. Stasis means stability. Something is stable, it doesn't change. So, homeostasis, when you put it together, means the process of maintaining the cell or body's environment. So the cell wants to keep itself in a certain way. It doesn't want its internal environment to change much. It wants to keep it at just the right temperature or concentration of things or body parts and what it's producing inside itself. So it does whatever it has to do to make sure what's going on inside is what it wants. And that's called homeostasis. Our bodies do this, and our cells work together overall to make sure our bodies are maintaining homeostasis because it keeps us healthy. pH. We've learned that pH is toxic. Hydrogen peroxide can lower the pH of the body. We've also learned that, let's see. That's fine. We'll move on. All right, so it says in your notebook, look at each situation below. So we have 1 through 4 situations, just like the last slide. We got to, once again, pick a cell that goes along with one of these scenarios or situations, and you have to explain which cell you chose using the phrase homeostasis occurs because blank. So this cell, so whatever cell works with each situation, and you're going to use this sentence frame, homeostasis occurs because, and explain how the cell is helping to maintain homeostasis. Situation 1, it says cells of body low on oxygen. So which cell did we learn from slide 39 is involved in transporting gases, oxygen to the cells, or carbon dioxide away? If the body is low on oxygen, which cell would you choose? So for number 1, you would write which cell you choose, and you would say homeostasis occurs because this cell does blank. And you're done. Situation 2, it says body is overheating, it has a fever. Same could be said if they're exercising and their body overheats. When the body overheats, which cells here kick in to gear to help your body cool down? If you're not sure, if you're thinking you forget, just make your best choice. But which one of these cells do you think is going to be best suited to help to cool your body down or cool the surface of your skin down? And then you would say this cell, for number 2, helps homeostasis occur because this cell does blank. There you go. Number 3, it says alcohol poisoning. The blood alcohol is too high. So which cell here helps deal with toxins? If you think back at 39, that was a good indication of what cell is involved in toxins. So you can watch video number 3, or the very beginning of this one again, where I went over which cell did which of these. But back to slide 40, alcohol poisoning. So which cell of the body would help keep your blood alcohol level as low as possible so you're not too sick and return your body to homeostasis, right? So you could say blank cell out of the 5 helps with homeostasis because this cell helps do blank. There you go. Last but not least, this interesting situation is a violent assault from an attacker. So somebody's attacking you. Your body's all jacked up with endorphins. You feel super alert, you're breathing heavy, you're excited, you're feeling the intensity and the emotion of the situation. You turn up, as they say? Which one of these cells would help affect that feeling of being excited, exhilarated, thrilling it is, the feeling of intensity? Which one of these cells do you think would be most involved in helping your body deal with someone trying to attack you? Which one do you think is going to affect your mood the most, given that situation? And you would say, for number 4, the blank cell, whichever one you choose, helps maintain homeostasis because this cell does blank. Think about it in this way. Which cell of the body out of these 5 might help you relax or feel more relaxed after a situation where you get attacked? Or which one's going to help you figure out how to feel about the situation, whether you're happy or sad or whatnot? And then I choose that cell for number 4. All right, moving on. Let's move a little faster here, right? We got phospholipids. Phospholipids are a special type of lipid or fat molecule that attaches in a special way to form a 2-layer, and here's 1, here's 2, that protects the cell. That's right, your cells, every single one of them, are coated in 2 layers of a special lipid or fat polymer called phospholipids. And they form what's called the phospholipid bilayer, which is the coating of every one of the cells of your body. If we look at this picture, let me just blow it up a little, it has a repeating structure. CH2, 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 CH2. That is a repeating structure. So you would be correct if you were to call a phospholipid not a molecule, but that's right, a polymer, because it's a large repeating molecular structure. It's a polymer. All right, let's look at these questions. It says, list 3 foods that should help provide your body with plenty of lipids for building those cell membranes. So really, what's some greasy food? What's your favorite fatty, greasy, delicious foods? Name 3 of them that you think contains lots of oil, fats, butter. Making me hungry just thinking about it. Make a list of 3 things you think would give your body plenty of lipids so that you can create those coatings of these phospholipids around your cells that protect the cells. Again, phospholipids are the membrane coating of the cell. So the cell membrane is made up of these phospholipids. Then it says number 2, describe and predict how the lipid layers would respond to push or touch. That's a good question. Think about this boy's body. Now this kid, he's overweight, he's unhealthy. What does his body feel like if you poked at it? If you touched this child, would he feel hard or would he feel soft? Would his body be flexible? Here we go, we got slide 42. Continuing the analysis and the thinking about lipids and their characteristics. It says, in number 1, it says, observe the behavior of oil in water. How does this demonstrate a lipid's function as a cell membrane? So when you think about the cell membranes, what shape do you think of? Let's go back to here. What shape is this taking? That's right, it's circular, right? Think about, what does oil do, or lipids do, the second it's immersed in water? Our cells are immersed in water. Our body is, what, 70–80% water? So the second the lipids that create our cell membranes, the second they get in water, you can see they form these round structures. Why is this such a good shape for a cell? And why does this make it so easy for it to be a cell coating, or the coating around a cell, given that it makes this shape in water, which is most of our body? It says, think about the shape and holding its form. So when it's in water, it appears to hold its form, and it seems to kind of take a round circular shape, just like the shapes we expect from a cell, just like this, that kind of round shape. Next up, it says, actually, you know what we're going to do? Let's check this out. Let's look at the behavior of, and this is a simulation of lipids when placed in water. So each one of these represents a lipid polymer. Watch them go. You can see that they form close attractions or forms of bonding with each other, and they take a circular structure. This gives you an example of why they work so well as a coating around a cell, and they take that circular shape to coat the internal parts of a cell. This happens because they have particular charges in what we call the tail, which is this long, windy part with their repeating structure. And then you have another charge at what's called the head, which are the green balls. Based on the charge of the different regions of this polymer, it has an overall behavior that allows it to take this shape when in water. Alright, let's move back to the slides. It says number 2, analyze image below, cite an idea as evidence to support the benefit of having a flexible lipid membrane on cells. So why is it good that we have flexible cell membranes made of lipids rather than something super hard if someone does something like this? Make a hypothesis for number 2. Good luck. Let's look at slide 43. Alright, so right here we have, I'll go ahead and zoom in, give you the full effect of the silly wiggling gift from the song Wiggle Wiggle Wiggle. Let's look at this. It says transport proteins equal protein structures that help send nutrients and waste through the cell membrane. So we have special proteins that work as little tunnels that can help assist in what goes into the cell or what can leave. Here's a picture to it. It shows something leaving the cell, but these structures right here are called transporter proteins. Now these transporter proteins can also change shape to allow or prevent molecules from passing through. So like any good protein, it can kind of change shape and do its job. Just like you can see in this picture, it's not allowing the red particle to go through. So whatever type of molecule or chemical this is, it won't go through unless this transporter protein changes shape. So we have some different items here for us to put in our notebooks. We have A, a protein polymer, which is made up of thousands of atoms. We have B, oxygen molecules. We have C, a glucose molecule made up of 18, 24. We have a molecule made of 24 atoms, and then we have a water molecule made of 3 atoms. It says, which molecules are most likely to wiggle through the lipid layer, and which do you think can only move through the channel proteins? So look at the space right here in the membrane, the lipid membrane, right? So in this space right here, which of these are most likely to possibly fit through if any could? That is the smallest ones. So the 2 smallest ones, choose the 2 smallest molecules or polymers here to fit through here. And then pick the 2 largest molecules or polymers to fit through only because the transporter protein allows it to. Alright. And as usual, we have some terrific YouTube videos. I recommend you check them out. And don't worry about question number 2. We won't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and remove it, in fact. There you go. It's now gone, never to be done ever. Congratulations. Here's some real pictures of cells that have been looked at, so a specific cell in the body. And you can see this is what it looks like if it hasn't been stained. And then on the far right, you can see that the membrane has been dyed or stained, so it stands out more in under the microscope. This is first hour, 2 hours, and up to 5 hours. It says scientists were able to attach radioactive molecules, so they glowed, to the transporter protein on the surface of a cell. So the more it glows, the more work it's doing. And so you can see over time, the transporter protein was transporting a lot of goods through the surface of the cell, and it was recorded on a microscope. Pretty cool. Final protein you can find within the cell membrane. It's embedded within the cell membrane. It's called a receptor protein, and they're designed to chemically bond to specific chemicals. And once they bond, the cell will respond to that stimulus by changing behaviors or functions. So once something bonds to the surface, it will change the way the cell behaves. We'll continue the activity with one more video after this. So stay tuned.